embedded into Discord and then you got it?
It's a full TV episode right there. You can't just send that and be like, watch this.
what'll
I'm
happen
not. When am I going to have time for that? Never.
Rachel will be like, we
Incorrect.
can't watch an episode or something. I can't stay up for another 40 minutes. And it's like, okay. So she'll pull up a YouTube video and it's 67 minutes of slime making. And she's like, but it's different. Or she'll pull up 7 9-minute videos of slime making.
I'm just I'm probably one of my least favorite things is that we'll be in the middle of conversation and John or Ricky will pull up a 10-minute video and I'm like, do I look made of time?
10 minutes. No, in the middle of conversation. No. Also, when
It's mostly John.
Hold on, he's not here. We cannot. I will speak only for my crimes, apparently.
I'll speak for his.
When we're sitting, thinking of what to watch on YouTube, and I pull up, a 15-minute video, and you're just like, 15 minutes? What am I made of time? If I didn't pull up that 15-minute video, we would have just sat trying to pick a video for 15 minutes.
No, we would have talked to each other. We're very good at that.
Hi, everybody. Welcome to Oops All Tangents. We're back.
Speaking of all this, so I do have more thoughts on the title. We can talk about it later, but I have other options.
Okay, yeah, we should go over those. But for now...
For now, Ricky and I fight about how long YouTube videos.
Yeah,
so here's the deal. YouTube video, if it is more than 3 minutes, it better be something that I want to spend more than 3 minutes on, and that's basically nothing.
Yeah, it literally needs to be interesting from start to end.
You guys have no attention span.
It's not that I don't have attention, it's that I don't trust videos that are uploaded to YouTube to be worth more than 3 minutes of my time.
Yeah, literally 10-minute build-ups are not worth it.
Absurdist comedy.
I love absurdist comedy.
I showed you Auntie Donna!
Absurdist comedy that lasts more than 3 minutes is officially torture.
Absurdist.
I love it, but there's a point at which I no longer love it, and I'm just stuck there because it's sucking on my brain.
That's true.
Yeah, it's great.
Jeez, well, I don't like that one.
But it is
the Halloween special is
but that's
8
just
minutes long.
It goes from beginning to end. The only time I ask how long a video is when you put on a video and it's some dude talking at camera for 5 minutes, and I'm like, how long is this video? And then it's another 10 minutes, and all they're gonna do is talk.
I have this weird personal problem that's
But JonTron's okay. JonTron's videos are all 15 minutes.
I need an arc.
He is hilarious.
Goes from beginning to end.
I need telegraphing. If you just stick me down in a video and there's no indication of when this will end or how any sort of beginning, middle, end, I'm gonna feel like I'm trapped in purgatory. Now, this goes for literally anything. I can't stand it when people tell me about their dreams, not because I'm not interested in it, but because dreams don't have narrative structure at all. So it's like this could go on for another 30 seconds or another 30 minutes.
Right. It's like you don't know when it's going to end.
Right.
Yeah.
It's like being caught in some sort of weird, horrifying illusion world. Or podcasts are often like this. I have to know how long it is.
So earlier I put up a video that was 15 minutes long because it's the best of the Friday Nights videos. But I did not expect us to watch the whole thing. Right. I just wanted to show you what
Well, see,
it
I'm
is.
totally fine with things putting
Sorry, the first 2 minutes of that told me I didn't want to watch the next 12.
Well, that's fine. I wouldn't expect you to watch that because you would never get it because it's all only Magic players would get that.
Exactly.
I think I'm totally fine with longer videos as being used as an example of something but
would you consider Nakey Jakey too long? His videos are 12, 15 minutes, and he's a guy talking at a camera.
I like Nakey Jakey, but I don't know. I feel like it's the way you have to introduce people to things. Like John really likes the science guy on YouTube, who I also like with the long blonde hair.
Watch the science.
He's fine. He's fine.
He's
fine. But my point is, mid conversation, when John's like, "Oh, I have to show you something," and then he pulls that up, and it's like, I don't know this dude. I don't know what he's going to talk about for the next 10 minutes. Me, ignorant to the situation, now I have to just watch this guy, and I'm like, I don't know.
It's like what I really want from Rachel all the time. And
it needs promise.
It's really sweet because Rachel loves showing me things without any kind of context because she wants me to experience the same thing she did finding it blind.
Yeah.
Because Rachel jumps off of YouTube cliffs with her, not only with her eyes closed, but having her arms pinned behind her backwards for fun. So
it's because science.
I feel that. I feel this.
But the problem is if she just said, hey, this is about a guy who makes a slime, but in the end it turns out the slime was a slug and it kills him. Okay, maybe I'll sit there for the 12 minutes then. I just need I need a premise.
Yeah, exactly.
That's what it is. It needs a lead in.
I can't preface Too Many Cooks. Or else it's not funny.
But
do you know how many people have showed me Too Many Cooks and how many times I've been like, why the fuck did you show me this?
All you have to say at any point in time if somebody's showing you Too Many Cooks is you just have to say, I've seen this. And then the person showing you Too Many Cooks will then go, oh, great. And they'll stop.
The first time was too many times because about 3 minutes in I went, I get it.
I was there.
Too many cooks.
I get it.
Actually,
Is
me.
brilliant.
It was you.
A misjudge. Sorry about that.
No, I
Many
didn't
Cooks
dislike
is
it.
brilliant.
Well, so okay. This is
got
a
it
different
at
category
3 minutes.
of video, though. There are certain videos where the length is supposed to make you uncomfortable.
Yeah.
Yes.
Like Too Many Cooks.
Yeah.
Like Kristen Shaw's A Horse is my favorite example.
I would also say like most of Auntie Donna.
Whoa,
Yeah,
whoa,
well,
whoa.
It is.
Xbox.
That's their joke. Their joke is going on for too long.
You're right. And so for things, for things like that, and including Too Many Cooks, you get the joke in the first 2 minutes. Then you decide if you're willing to sit for the next 5.
Right.
Sure.
It's definitely
And that's okay.
achy breaky theory comes as like the deciding factor.
And Too Many Cooks, I was like, got it.
Yeah.
I've got this.
It doesn't matter. You have to keep watching. You don't
But
get
that's
it.
different than like putting some dude on who's talking about something, and then I'm supposed to be like, I don't know this
when
guy
have I
really
put that
talking.
on?
Maybe you haven't.
I think
Some
you.
people
I think
have.
you
Okay,
have.
the only thing I've tried to show you is Defunct Land, because Defunct Land is actually just. Please collab with us, Mr. Defunct Land.
I agree.
I
know
need
who
a
you are,
premise.
sure.
We just talked about this.
What?
need a
Defunct
premise.
Land is a guy, and he does mini 10-minute to 15-minute documentaries about theme park rides that are no longer around.
Okay.
Like they're extinct species. Like
But
like,
you
yeah,
understand
like
how
it's
that
like-
as a concept inherently doesn't mean I want to watch like
I
for the
know,
next 15
probably.
like it needs more. Like what
Well,
is this
actually,
going to offer me?
I have a problem with video essays. Like
Sell it to me.
Video essays are kind of interesting because they're it's like all the research of like a 20-page paper, but with like the interest factor of a TV show.
Yeah.
Except that I want to be talking to the person. Because
Right.
they're bringing up points that I want to discuss, and so I find myself going, no, that point was, but now he's already moved on. Like
Yeah.
So I have a problem with video essays specifically because the first ones I found were every frame a painting.
Oh man.
And they were great.
They're so
Right.
good.
And then every other 13-year-old on YouTube decided they knew everything about movies and tried to do the exactly the same thing. And it's not even that I disagree with their points, but if you don't have a good voice, don't try to make video essays. And I don't mean that as a mean
Wow.
thing.
To be
but
fair,
you have to be able.
another career path just closed for
That's
me.
Can-
what
can we
the
be
video
fair here?
hinges on.
Yeah,
is
I
you
agree.
Talking.
That's true. Like
I agree.
if you're making a video essay and you're like
everybody
actually
should
putting
just think their voice is awful.
right.
Agreed.
But
Like,
you should put in the effort to make if you're putting in production value clearly to these video essays. They're moneyed things, right? Hire someone.
Yo,
Sure.
Yeah.
Inferno straight up told me that he shook my world. He was like, yeah, he out of context, he said something like, yeah, in that video back when you had a lisp. And I was like, when I had a lisp? And he was like, yeah, your lisp is gone. And I was like, is my lisp gone? Because Kyle had also been saying that, but obviously I haven't done anything. So I
I've
was
never
like,
heard you lisp in my life.
I have definitely think that your lisp is less noticeable, but I also think I notice it less.
So it's a problem because we've all been friends with you for a
Chicken
long
or the
time.
egg?
I still think it's most
Don't
likely.
eat glue.
I think it's most
Ian.
likely.
Listen, I have
eating
so
glue.
few kicks in my life. It's this and Auntie Donna, and this does me less damage.
Fair. Continue eating your glue.
anyway.
What I think that your lisp is noticeable the first time someone meets you, and then it disappears because people stop noticing.
Yeah,
I
I
also
heard
think you
that.
have less of a lisp and more like something that sounds a lot like a lisp after I've had 2 conversations with you.
Yeah.
Like
It's very light.
yeah,
You're
it is.
also on the internet a little bit.
What does that mean?
Like you're in YouTube videos
I am.
that are seen by a few people, including yourself.
Yeah.
And like, because I did a podcast last night, and one of the guys on the podcast has never done anything on the internet before, and like he was like, I'm gonna do some vocal exercises before the podcast because he was all nervous, and he's like, I recorded myself and I have a lisp, and I'm like, I've known you since high school. You have no lisp at all.
Yeah.
Your voice is fine.
I broke my S's trying to get them better.
Yeah.
This is also people like it is universal that people hate their voice.
I
when
went
they
to
first hear
speech
it.
therapy.
let's
No,
hear
I think
Let's hear
actually, I think you have improved. I think it's.
Thanks. No,
I think a deep
you might have.
narcissism.
I vividly remember the day I noticed I had a lisp because everybody kept telling me. I got pulled out of my 3rd grade class and they were like, don't worry, it's not a doctor. We're just going to take you to someone real fast. They took me to this person and she asked me to say a bunch of colors and words and flashcards and I was looking at them. Then she put them away and then I walked out of the room and my parents are like, so you have a lisp. And I was like, this means nothing. And they were like, so you just, I'm only telling you, so if you want to decide whether or not you want to change your lisp and what it is and how it works. And so I decided to sign up for speech therapy. And I went in and they gave me this like noodle shaped tube, like PVC pipe basically, like a macaroni, like an elbow noodle.
Yeah.
And so you put it to your ear and your mouth.
Ah,
and you talk
torture device.
into it. And it sounds exactly the way you sound. Yeah, so you hear it in your head the way you say it out loud. Right. And she said, just say your name. And it was just like,
Allison.
Allison. From one end to the other, and I was like, no, it's not the TH. I have a...
After going to Lubbock.
I think you can kind of, for anybody listening, you can kind of imitate this effect, I think, by, like, putting your hands in front of your ears like you're making, like, little gills or something.
Why would you ever do
And you can hear your voice a little bit more clearly.
You could cosplay the dinosaur that killed Dennis Nedry?
Okay,
yes, exactly. That's a good description. Because we can't really show you. But yeah, if you do that, you get a similar effect of being able to hear your voice.
It's not nearly as vivid. It's more like listening to yourself on a podcast.
Supposedly it's
with the
supposed to be
headphones
like... your head resonance, like the effect that like your skull is vibrating along with your voice.
That's
so
why.
If you just hold your skull for one thing, now everybody's just like...
You're normally hearing your voice echo through your own skull, which is why it sounds different.
It's just a pity that none of you can hear me like I do.
My teeth were just really crooked and cramped growing up, and so I didn't know that you were supposed to make the S sound out of the front, so I made it out of the side like this, and so it's all...
Well, in case you didn't know, the Tesseract that... what's his face went into? It's in Lubbock, and I've seen your third grade classroom, and you didn't have a lisp.
I don't have a lisp?
No, you're good.
Oh, thank God. Also, this somehow just reminded me of this time in middle school. This is a wholesome, quick story.
Wholesome,
it's not
quick.
wholesome.
Tangents.
But
middle school never is.
So I had cancer, right? And it was like a thing.
The end.
I got this wholesome, quick story.
Wholesome and quick.
I have cancer.
It's wholesome because it stopped fast.
That's just the background.
Okay.
So I had cancer, and we were at a middle school dance, and people like knew. And one of my friend's little brother, they knew I had cancer.
Okay.
It wasn't a very easy to keep secret. But I went to this dance, and her younger brother by like 2 years asked to dance with me, and I'm like, yeah, sure. It turns out he had a crush on me. That's sweet or whatever.
Aww.
And we're dancing, and he goes, hey, so it's my least favorite story. I love it so much. He was like, it's very wholesome. He was like, hey, so I heard, so you have cancer, right? And I was like, yeah, I do have cancer. He's like, I really wanted to talk to you because I also have a condition. I'm really embarrassed about it. And it just kills me when I think about it, and it's ruining my life. And I was like, oh my God, I am so sorry. I thought he was going to say like his grandma was dead or something. And that's fine that like, you know, trauma affects people differently. And he looks me dead in the eye in the middle of like the middle school dance with like my hands on his shoulders, and we're like swaying back and forth. He looks me dead in the eye and he goes, I have flat feet and my life is so hard. I'm like, I took a moment. I flashed back to the multiple surgeries when they opened up my chest to put in a portacatheter and connect it to my heart arteries. And then that time where they my arteries.
There aren't any other kind. Okay.
And then all of the chemotherapy where my hair fell out in the middle of the night, and this dude has flat.
I'm just saying. Imagine all that.
But
it
hurts
you to stand up.
You can't sympathize.
And we're dancing.
I actually do.
He was talking about how hard it was to dance and how he gets made fun of it for it. That's all. That's the whole story.
I would.
He is right now. We're giving all the trauma he wants.
Hey,
That's true.
Kid with
name
flat
drop.
feet,
Name drop.
I only remember his last
and your
name.
feet are dumb too because they're flat.
I have flat feet too. Guess what? There are insoles. There are things to fix it. It's not that big of a deal.
Anyway, I hope that kid's okay. I just will remember this for the rest of my life.
One of you still has your problem, the other doesn't. So who's actually suffering?
Good point.
I mean,
he can't join the army, Allison.
He probably also, you know, got Dr. Scholl's insoles and doesn't have flat feet anymore. But you know, whatever.
Yeah.
Yo. I hope he's
supposed
okay.
to be flat.
No.
No.
Mine are like flat. Like they're just flat.
Huh.
My
like a cartoon character, of course.
Mine are beautifully arced.
Mine are.
Please, let's not
terrible.
look at feet right now.
Yo, my feet are great.
Foot guy from Reddit, stay away.
Oh
What?
no!
Yeah, that's a thing.
There was this guy who was just posting feet of all of us, mostly Kyle.
Yeah.
In the
He
subreddit.
wouldn't have if Allison hadn't said it was okay in that one post.
Well, and then I deleted all of them, so give me a break.
I didn't used to think about feet. And then I got on the internet, and now I never want to think about feet. It's annoying because I didn't want it's not like a prohibition that I have to I can't train myself not to do it because it's like, hey, you think about feet? No, good.
To my point though, I approved it because it's hard to know when people are funny and when they've crossed a line. Like one picture of your feet making it to top of the subreddit that's kind of funny.
Sure.
And so when I was like, I approve of this joke once, then it turned into a whole thing. And then I'm like, way to ruin any support I could have had for you and the potential for a funny joke. Because now we all have to worry about if you're staring at our feet and if you're like pushing your fetish onto us.
You made it explicitly clear.
And I'm happy he supports us. And I do think you have fine feet, Kyle.
Thank you.
But it's hard because
your arches aren't, so somebody's got to do it.
I mean, if somebody can get like porn satisfaction out of not porn.
I did get complimented on my face.
I don't want to be a part of it.
This is a real long road.
I said, you know what?
Oops, all tangents.
Oops.
Let's go back to the tangent part. Less on the oops
can
part.
Can I step backwards?
The one time I got a pedicure, they said I had nice feet. So
Aww.
They say that to everybody. I've got.
No, they said it to her. They didn't say it to me.
Oh,
wait,
like
what?
they're like, he's got such great feet.
Yeah.
Oh, that's true.
Yeah.
There's one time that Rachel had some sort of like foot injury, and she was like 12, and the doctors are like, hey, you make sure we made the stitches real nice and small so that your feet will be fine for your husband later.
What?
She was 12. And like there's like so many layers of incorrect. Like,
have you ever had stitches?
No.
So it feels real weird.
It's super weird.
Definitely the first time you get stitches, it feels really weird because it does feel like you're just being sewed back together.
Well, that's what's happening. Yeah.
It's a really weird feeling to have stitches.
It's really weird because they numb the area usually.
Yeah,
and so there's
but
just
you can still feel the pull.
It's the tug.
You feel the tug.
It's rough.
I've actually
I would have preferred the pain to the uncomfortable, just like skin
it's
tugging
really weird.
teddy bear association.
to gain street cred with the that one subreddit that like celebrates never breaking a bone. I've never been to the hospital for myself. I've only gone for other people.
I've never broken a bone.
That's good. That means you get into the subreddit as well.
Hell yeah.
But I've been there for Reed, and I've been there for you before.
Yeah.
And I've been there for probably a couple other people, but I've never actually had to go to the hospital for my own physical.
But should you have?
No. I have somehow avoided physical trauma because
you're made of rubber?
No, I have avoided physical trauma, and I know this because the few times I have been afflicted with very mild physical trauma, my body does not know how to handle it.
Nope.
So like the one time I got punched in the face by Joey while doing fight training for Skyvault, my body actually just went into full lockdown. And I couldn't move my limbs. I went into like full shock. I just got hit in the face. It wasn't even that big a deal. The paramedics showed up and they were like, "He just got hit in the face. It's fine." But like I was frozen up and like my limbs wouldn't move.
I'm gonna count the paramedics showing up since they are a mobile hospital.
No, they don't
went
count.
To the hospital.
No,
totally
Allison
doesn't
called them
count.
because she was worried.
Here, did you have to pay the ambulance bill?
No.
Okay, then you didn't go to the hospital.
Yeah.
That's like if you gone to the hospital, you have the bills to prove it.
Right.
I agree.
So just to get this straight, I'm trying to like just piece your argument together here. Is your argument that you've never had physical trauma because you don't like it?
No, I don't have an argument. I was saying I've never had physical trauma, and as a result, my body doesn't know how to handle physical trauma.
Oh, yeah.
So if
Sorry.
I ever do, I might just die.
Oh, thanks.
Let's see. I've snapped my arm.
This is like the get shot with smaller bullets to build your immunity up to bigger bullets.
Yes.
That's it's the term pain tolerance, right?
Yeah, that's
I have
the term.
none.
No.
I have never had to build a tolerance to pain. I don't
absolute
experience.
I didn't
weakling.
have to, but so in middle school, this is just my dumb middle school story. I thought because you remember Mercy, the game where you try and bend each other's knuckles back.
Oh yes.
Oh, okay.
I realized at a certain point I could win if I just don't say anything. Like,
Yeah.
that's all it takes. You don't actually have to be good at Mercy or hurt
Right.
people. You just have to, no matter how much your feeling hurts, you just don't say anything and you win. Mm-hmm. And this kind of turned into like a fake pain tolerance.
Okay.
Yeah.
Like I was like, this hurts and it's bad. But if I just don't like, and so if then when things would hurt me, I wouldn't say anything, and everybody's like, "Wow, you got such a high pain tolerance," but it still hurt. I just didn't say stuff.
That is pain tolerance.
No, pain. My grandma had the world's highest pain tolerance. She went to the hospital and she was like, I don't know, 86, and they're like, yeah, like her kidney exploded, and she's like, I didn't really want to come today. I still got laundry to do. Like that's what it took for her to like consider. Like it just didn't bother her. There's a difference between not like high pain tolerance is not being bothered by it.
So, the super surreal, my grandparents' moment.
Always good.
I like went over one day. It was just sort of like the day of the week that I go over and I eat breakfast with my grandparents because I live in Lubbock.
That's called being a good grandson. Having a weekly day for that.
And I get there around 10, which is when I show up because whatever. And I get there and my grandparents are just sitting in there like couches, right? And I'm like, hey, how's it going? She's just like, I'm having a heart attack.
What?
Oh.
And I was like, what? And they're just like, yeah, we finally called the ambulance. And I'm like, when did this start? Can I get you to the hospital? Like, what? Oh, no, we just called the ambulance. We'll just wait. She's like, this started around, like, 6. It's 10. It's been 4 hours. She's like, I took, like, a baby aspirin and hoped it would go away. But, like, it's definitely a heart attack. And she's had...
It's just a very small dose.
She's had one before.
Mm-hmm.
This is an interesting thing. Like, most people miss heart attacks. Because if they don't kill you or almost kill you, it's hard to, like... And they're different in men and women.
Yeah.
In men, they're very sharp and they're very noticeable. In women, it often just feels kind of like your lungs are stuck. Like, it's like a really deep... it's a dull, throbbing pain that lasts for a while. But...
I don't like to interrupt tangents mostly on this podcast, but this is a bad topic.
Sure. Okay, that's fine.
Okay, we'll get off this tangent.
I can switch it real fast. Not really. It's still related.
Before a feet or something?
Okay.
Oh wait, I can bring these back around.
Do it.
So when I realized I had a high pain tolerance because I went to an all-girl sleepover once when I was like 8, and one of the things we had to do was get marbles out of ice cold water with our toes.
Oh, the terrible game.
The very normal sleepover game.
This is the beginning to
You've
Carrie
never been
or
to a
something, right?
girl's
Did you
sleepover
kill them
party.
all in a psychotic rage later, or
I
like?
actually just won. I could just keep my
Worse.
feet in freezing water for it was like 20 minutes, and I got all the marbles, and all of the moms are looking at me like.
Checked.
This was secretly
All the moms were looking at you because they're like, "Who started this game?"
No.
The moms set up
The
the
moms
game.
started the game. This was secretly a CIA recruitment program.
Yeah. Are you
got
called a
all my-
cicada?
I can bend all my toes in weird ways, and I can stick them in cold water for long periods of time.
Don't tell the guy.
Be impressed. I want them to know this. Find me.
No, they will.
I thought about being a foot model once.
Don't find us.
Actually, at my job at the credit union, I remember my coworker coming up to me and being like, "So hey, I'm making extra money on the side." And with my coworker, it was like a crapshoot of like, how illegal was this? And he was like, "I started selling my old socks," and I was like, "That's
Hell
disgusting,
yeah.
and you're a garbage human." And he's like, "I made $500 last night," and I was like, how do I do this? Where's the website for which I can sell my old socks? And he gave me all the information, and then I chickened out. Wish I hadn't. Probably would have gone well.
I just want to put a quick disclaimer real quick. If you do try to find us for any reason, we have a PI on call and we will find you
Don't
back.
find me, please.
He will do it. He's better than you at that job.
Also, he said that he had
That's how
to.
you start PI.
That's
work.
how you start challenges.
This is like we get 2 PIs tracking him, and then
He
it's
did
just
say
PIs all the way
he
down.
did say he had to walk in those socks for 2 weeks for someone to buy them.
How do they know?
It is, it
You-
is
they
hard.
don't-
Like,
it's
how
like
do
a
you-
promise thing.
I don't even really feel like I can judge anyone for that. Like, because
Nah.
why? Why would I judge somebody for that?
I can't judge anyone for.
Wait,
I do
judge
think.
somebody for buying or selling?
For selling.
Oh yeah, no, I know.
Like,
I think
that's
it's
fine. I mean,
Can
I
you
don't
judge
feel
them
like
for
doing it,
buying
but-
I
either?
certainly can. I
I
don't think
could.
I wouldn't necessarily, depending on context. Lots of context.
You know, I'm just saying glass houses,
But you definitely.
right? Everybody has their something, right?
I feel safe.
Who here hasn't bought a sock, right? Like,
Yeah.
I've got several myself.
I mean, I wouldn't like if my friend came up and was like, my thing is gross, dirty socks. I'd be like, well, don't, and then that would be it. There's judgment there. Don't worry.
I wouldn't. Well, it doesn't affect me. I really just don't give a crap if it doesn't affect me.
Yeah, I guess that's kind of it.
No, but then I have to work with weird sock guy, and that does affect me.
Guys, can we,
If he's willing to talk to me about his weird sock thing once,
That's
he is willing to
true.
talk to me about his weird sock thing twice.
That's true.
Because
fair.
socks come in pairs.
Ooh, good point.
I think that next time we have a door monster meetup, we clearly need a tub of ice water and a bunch of marbles.
No, we already
Watch
who's
me
gonna
go.
win. Like, what's it? This is like,
I don't know.
No, it's a show. It's not a contest.
Well, then, you still want to give people hope, though. That's the thing. It's like, who's the best? Like,
it's our own version of Cirque du Soleil. It's just Allison picking marbles.
I'd like to say I could give her a run for her money.
I have some of the worst circulation in the world, so I'd love to see you try.
Well, everybody, thanks for joining into Oops All Tangents. I'm pretty sure it's been 30 minutes. I wasn't actually counting super hard.
Some of those minutes count as more than 1 minute.
I think some of these were premium minutes, honestly, especially with the subject topic.
I was going for the alternate direction that they were too heavy.
We will see you again in 2 weeks, either because we record one more right now or because we come back and record more later. Who knows? You'll get it at the same time. Thanks for listening. Thanks for donating. And we'll see you next time. Bye, everybody.
Boy.